Hey everybody, and Tony here with a tribute to a wonderfully hilarious animated Christmas special from one of my most favorite Adult Swim shows of all time. I'm of course talking about a Space Ghost Christmas special from, of course, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which premiered on December 25, 1994. Now, my experience with this show goes back to when I was about a toddler, and I did catch this in passing, yet I never really watched it in full. That was until I was 8 years old and I was vacationing in California, more specifically in San Francisco, alongside my mom and my sister, that I caught it at 9 p.m. and I was quite invested with what the show had to offer. This is essentially an animated talk show hosted by one of Hanna-Barbera's superheroes, Space Ghost, and joining him are some of his Rogues Gallery members, Zorak and Moltar, and even Brak on some occasions. However, Zorak and Moltar are basically the ones that frequently appear on his show and have basically cemented themselves as the main characters. The usual formula for Space Ghost Coast to Coast is that there is someone like a celebrity who would get interviewed by Space Ghost, and let's just say that there are some pretty surreal things that might happen. And that's my best description of the show. It's not only surreal, but it is really hilarious, mostly because of the line delivery and just how the characters bounce off of each other. You have Space Ghost, who does his damnedest to run the talk show very well. You have Zorak, who has the major tendency to act like such a big jerk. And of course, Moltar. While he's not as jerky compared to Zorak, he does have his asshole ways, but they're not really as mean as Zorak's intentions, as he's more of the deadpan snarker. And Brak, well, he's basically not only the tag-along kid, but he is someone who manages to scream all of his lines, and he even had his own spin-off, The Brak Show, which I will gladly take a look in the near future if ever I have the time. And in terms of this particular Christmas special, I found myself laughing my butt off because of just how hilarious everything is. Yes, it's only 9 minutes in length, but what I got with those 9 minutes was balls to the wall hilarity and all of these wonderful characters bouncing back and forth, complete with not only some quotable lines, but also their interpretations of some wonderful Christmas carols. And believe me when I say it that there were a lot of highlights. First of all, there was Space Ghost's rendition of Up on the Chimney, and then we have Zorak's rock and roll rendition of Jingle Bells, and of course, Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, and lest I forget about some of the other villains' interpretations of the 12 Days of Christmas. And the major highlight has to be Black Widow singing Leonard Nimoy Sings with such a lovely mezzo-soprano voice that I found myself on the floor laughing. And the finale is something to really write home about in terms of its overall hilarity. They didn't sing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas," they sang "We Wish You a Happy Birthday." And I found myself just rolling on the floor with laughter because of those lyrics. So words cannot describe how much fun I had with this wonderfully surreal yet absolutely funny Christmas special from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Everything about it left me with such glee and with such pleasure that I would love to spread the love of this particular Christmas special. If you really want a good laugh, then you cannot go wrong with a Space Ghost Christmas special from Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And I'm sure that those of you who are major fans of Space Ghost Coast to Coast will have automatically watched this particular Christmas special. And if so, please write down on the comments below what were your highlights and which scenes you enjoyed the most. And of course, which songs you enjoyed the most. I would really love to hear from you guys, so please comment what were your favorite moments in this particular Christmas special. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in much later for yet another tribute to another Adult Swim animated Christmas special, and that is Aqua Teen Hunger Force's Mail Order Bride. So until then, happy holidays everybody, and keep smiling.